what you're most excited about, what books you're really looking forward to this year. What was next? Can't get enough. They're so cute. It's gonna be a great year for books. Here are all the books in 2025 that I'm looking forward to. All the releases in 2025 that I'm really excited about and that I'm following and that hopefully will bring me a lot of joy this year. The first is Flirting with Disaster by Naina Kumar, same author that wrote Say You'll Be Mine. I really enjoyed this last year. It's a really fun South Asian American, Indian American rom-com, and I actually have already read Flirting with Disaster. I got an e-arc from Dell Publishing, so thank you to Dell for giving me an e-arc, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It was like probably 4.25 stars. It was a really good really good contemporary romance. Second chance romance. She needs a divorce from this man that she married. They are separated. They married a long time ago, and now she needs a divorce to get remarried. She goes to get him to sign the paperwork and doesn't realize that there's a hurricane coming, so now she's stuck in Houston during this hurricane. Lots of stuff happens. It brings them back together. It was really, really sweet. It was really well done. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I need to get a copy of it. So 10 out of 10 recommend. So we're starting off strong in terms of my list of new releases I'm looking forward to. The next one is Once Smitten, Twice Shy by Chloe Liese. Third book in a series. It follows Two Wrongs Make a Right and Better Hate Than Never. This was incredible. Incredible. One of my favorite reads, I believe, of 2023. So I'm really excited for the third book. I did start it at one point, but I wasn't in the mood for a contemporary romance at that time, so I put it down. But I do have an e-arc of it. Thank you, Berkeley. So I will be reading it soon, hopefully. You have seen me talk about A Feather So Black by Selene, the second book in this series. A Crown So Silver comes out in January. I'm really excited for that. I am hoping to get the Fairy Loot edition. This is one of the prettiest editions that I think I own, so I am really excited to get the second book. What I also really liked about this is that fairy lore, like the fact that they're tricky, that they can't lie, but they can kind of avoid telling the truth, really comes through in this, and I really enjoy that because you don't often in fae romances get the actual lore of the fae, and I think it's really nice to actually get that. So this was thoroughly enjoyable, and I'm really excited for book 2, which comes out on the 21st. Yes, the 21st. Shanghai Immortal is another Fairy Loot edition that I have. I listened to this book on audio, and I really enjoyed it on audio, only because the first 75% of this is just vibes, and the last 25% is plot, and I just was vibing with it. So I am excited for the next one. I did not purchase the Fairy Loot edition. I'm gonna read it on audiobook before I see if I want to invest in it. I am excited for this. I'm excited for the next edition, and I'm excited for, you know, just to vibe out. The next one's called Paris Celestial by A.Y. Chao. It comes out on the 23rd of January. So it's Modern Divination. It comes out on January 30th. Saw this on Book Talk and did not purchase a copy, and then it was taken down from all the websites, and I couldn't buy a copy to read it, but all my mutuals raved about it. So I'm really excited to get a copy and to finally be able to read it. I loved the cover, the original cover. I'm not sure if that cover is still available or not, but either way, I've heard it was just a phenomenal book, so I'm really excited to dive into that. By Hannah Bonam Young, I have previously read Out on a Limb, which I really enjoyed. The audiobook's phenomenal. And I read Next of Kin, which was also really enjoyable, very cute, just very sweet. And I really enjoyed that. The vibe of her books is very much like sweet, contemporary, low stakes, pure, true, wholesome love, and I vibe with it. So I am excited for Out of the Woods. This is like a second chance marriage in crisis romance. It's out on January 28th. I was definitely rejected in getting an arc of that, so I'll be purchasing a copy myself, and I'm still excited about it. I really enjoyed these books. I do have her other book, Next to You. I haven't read it yet, so it's not on the shelf yet. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood comes out February 2nd, otherwise known as Wet. I did not receive an arc of this. I didn't even try. I knew they were going to give it to me. I actually hated Not in Love, which was her most recent release, and I gave it a really bad review. So I knew they wouldn't give me an arc of this one, but I am excited to read this book. I've heard really, really good things about it, and I don't think I'm going to purchase a special edition. I'm probably just going to buy a standard edition. I'm definitely gonna, I'm really excited about the book. I've heard nothing but good things. I love Alexis Daria. I went all the way to the Strand to get a signed copy of You Had Me at Hola, which I have. And I started with A Lot Like Adios, which I absolutely adored. The third book and final book in this series, February 11th, the third book comes out. Along Came Amor, and I'm really excited about it. Couldn't tell you what it's about. I just thoroughly enjoyed this series. This was so stinking cute. Like, if you just want a really cute, fun romance read, it's about two telenovela stars that slowly fall in love. This is like a childhood friends to adult lovers romance, and it was super, super cute. I love the writing. It's just so sweet and fun, and I can't wait for the third book in the series. One of my favorite authors, mostly because I have met her and she is incredible in person, like she's just a beautiful, fun person to be around, is Brynne Weaver. I met her when I was living in France for a period of time, and she was releasing Butcher and Blackbird in France. This was so good. This was one of my favorite reads the year I read it, which I believe was 2023. I do have this bad boy signed. I absolutely adored this book. It's dark rom-com, dark humor. If you like dark humor and you're good with like gore and guts and stuff, I think you'll enjoy this. Leather and Lark I did not love as much, but the third book in the series, Scythe and Sparrow, comes out on February 11th. And I'm very, very excited about it. I will definitely be reading. I don't know how, definitely don't even think I saw an opportunity to apply for an arc, so I don't have an arc of this, but that's okay. I'll just buy it. It looks so good. The character art she's been putting out looks incredible, and obviously the audiobook is gonna be amazing, so I'm really, really excited for it. And this is another serial killer, so it's gonna be a lot of guts and gore. Hunter, I really enjoyed this. This was a really fun romantasy. I didn't see the twists and turns coming, and it's also called The Crimson Moth, depending on where you're at in the world. The second book, Rebel Witch, comes out on the 18th of February. I am super excited about this because it ends on a wild cliffhanger, and I need to know what happens next. I absolutely adored this book. Immediately bought a hard copy of it off Pango Books. Super, super fun read. I do think it's worth the hype, ultimately. Bastone had my favorite audiobook of the year last year, which was Ready or Not. This is Accidental Pregnancy by a one-night stand friends to lovers, childhood friends to lovers book. This was so good. It was beautifully done, beautifully executed. The audiobook narration was stellar. I loved this novel, and Cara Bastone is coming out with her next novel, Promise Me Sunshine, which I've heard is just as good, which is insane because this book is amazing. Promise Me Sunshine is out March 4th. I do have an arc of it. I do need to read it. I know. It's about grief though, and feel like it's going to be a little bit of a tough one, but I'm really excited about it because she is quickly becoming an auto-buy author, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think you all knew this one was coming, Legendborn and Bloodmarked. The third book in what will be a quartet series, Oathbound, comes out March 4th. I am so excited. I will be rereading these as soon as possible. They will be part of my February Black History Month reads because I need to reread these to remember exactly what I need to remember and to know for Oathbound. I'm so, so excited. These books are incredible. If you haven't read them, please definitely do. Bree finds out there is magic in this world, and she's looking to find who killed her mother, and magic is involved. She sees something that she shouldn't have seen, essentially, when she goes to her college campus. And then from there, she starts to be initiated into an order at her college, and it's like an Arthurian legend retelling, kind of. and it's so unbelievably good. Definitely hop on this train if you have not already. The third book comes out in March. Also, Bloodmarked is one of my prized possessions because I do have it signed. I know. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez comes out on April 4th. I did enjoy Just for the Summer. My favorite is still definitely Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I just absolutely adored this one. I think it had a lot of really great anxiety rep, and I have a lot of anxiety, so this one hit really hard for me. I'm excited about Say You'll Remember Me. I just love the way Abby Jimenez writes. I love the stories she tells, so I'm really excited about it. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure I'll love it. Danielle L. Jensen, these books have new covers now, but The Endless War or The Inadequate Heir and then The Endless War, loved. I loved both of these books so much. These are a duology in a series of 3 duologies. They're all good. The final duology is coming out. The first duology is The Bird Kingdom, followed by The Traitor Queen, which this follows Lara and Aaron. And then the second duology follows Karis and Zara. This was my favorite of the 2, and then the final duology is coming out starting this year. So the first book in that series, The Twisted Throne, comes out April 8th. Very excited about it, but I am pissed that I now have to buy new covers. Also in April is the second book in this, it's not a series, it's an interconnected standalone series, I assume. Phantasma was just a very spicy, fun, good time, perfect for spooky season, and it is a romantasy that focuses on a girl that goes into this like circus-like competition to save her sister. She meets a ghoul and he starts to help her, and she doesn't really know why, and he doesn't know why either because his memories are wiped, but he asks her to help him get his memories back so he can know who he is and why he's there. I just thought it was a fun read, and I read it in one sitting. So the second book in this like interconnected standalone series is coming out in April. It's called Enchantra. Very excited about that one. I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the OCD rep as well. And fun. You can expect just something highly bingeable. Great Big Beautiful Lie by Emily Henry. I won't wax too poetic about this, but like I'm excited to read it. I think everyone is. I don't know really what to expect from it, but I usually like Emily Henry novels. My favorite was definitely Funny Story, which was published last year. I thought it just spoke to me the most because of like what resonates with me, but I know a lot of people resonate with Beach Read. I think she has a book out there for everyone. I thoroughly enjoy her writing, so I can't wait for this next book. It's gonna be good. We know that. Soto is coming out with a thriller, a YA thriller called Thrashers, and it seems like a thriller version of Mean Girls, and I am down for it. I'm very excited for it, and that comes out May 1st. Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I did really enjoy this last year. I read it on audio. Thoroughly enjoyable romantasy. Cannot recommend it more. Like Viking, Scandinavian romantasy, they fall in love. There's just so much that's happening in this, and it's really based on like Viking mythology, which is really interesting and engaging. A Curse Carved in Bone comes out May 13th. Can't wait. It's gonna be great. I already know it. I do need to get, I don't know if I want to get that copy or the Fairy Loot edition. I mean, I'm sure they'll do a Fairy Loot edition for the second book too, because they did the first book, so I'm really excited for that. I need to know what happens after that ending. That ending was insane. It was insane. Also coming out in April, I did sign up for an ARC, so I hope I get it. Viciously Yours, the second book, Obsessively Yours, is coming out sometime in April. I'm not sure when, but that's what the author has given us. This is indie published, so there's no like, I mean, she can put it out whenever she wants, basically. So excited. What was next? Can't get enough. This series by Kennedy Ryan. This is a God tier novel for me. God tier. Before I Let Go broke my soul. Did also thoroughly enjoy This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book in the series, so it's an interconnected standalone series. The second book was really enjoyable. I loved it. 5 stars, Kennedy Ryan. I love her writing. Last one, Can't Get Enough, which I cannot get enough of how many jokes I can make with that. Comes out also May 13th. I am so pumped. I know a lot of people have started to get arcs. I don't think I'm gonna get an arc unless they put it up on NetGalley, but I'm just super stoked for this third book and definitely will be purchasing as soon as possible. Susan Lee is putting out the Romance Rivalry. Her novels are like YA K-dramas. All of her novels, YA K-dramas. They're so cute. So I can't wait for this one. I do know she's also working on her first adult romance, which I'm pumped about. I have enjoyed her YAs, but I think I'll like her adult a little bit more, mostly because I'm an adult. That comes out also on May 13th. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I don't have One Dark Window just yet. I don't have a copy of it, at least. This is just the second book in the duology, Two Twisted Crowns. This took book talk by storm. People were obsessed with this. I was obsessed with this duology, and now the author is coming out with another, like a new series. It's called, they're starting with The Night and the Moth, and it comes out on May 20th. Couldn't tell you what it's about, just that I can't wait to read it. If you have read The God and the Gumiho, this is like a K-drama in a romantasy novel. Super cute, adorable, one of my favorite reads of 2024. The second book, The God and the Guisin, comes out June 3rd. I will be getting the Fairy Loot edition. I need to know what happens, because that ending, I need to know what happens in this, and I need to know they end up together. Ashley Poston wrote one of my favorite reads of 2023, which was The 7-Year Slip. I absolutely adored this novel. I did not like a novel love story as much, but she is coming out with Sounds Like Love on June 17th, which sounds delightful. If it's anything even remotely resembling The 7-Year Slip, I'm going to adore it. If you haven't read this yet, you absolutely should. She does magical realism in romance really, really well. Soto is also coming out with Rose in Chains, which is the first book in what will be a trilogy based on her fan fiction, The Auction, which I read, adored, loved it to death, and can't wait for this book. I pre-ordered a signed copy from Barnes & Noble. I was like, I'm so unbelievably stoked for it. It looks so incredible. The fact that we're getting so many Draco and Hermione, so many Dromione books out this year instead of Raylo warms my heart. It really does. So I'm really excited about this one. Also the cover, gorgeous, chef's kiss. It's getting sprayed edges. It's gonna be great. I know it's gonna be good. The final book in this series by Megan Bannon, which starts with The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, which was just a super, super cute romantasy but cozy. It was followed by The Undermining of Twyla and Frank, another cozy romantasy with older characters, which I adored. The third and final book in this interconnected standalone series is called The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam, and it comes out on the 8th of July. Can't wait for it. I'm sure it's just going to be another cozy, sweet, good time, and it's going to be adorable. There's always like a little bit of something at the end where it is like there's some serious plot, but these books are just like a really fun hug. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana comes out July 15th. This is a continuation, I believe. I believe it's still interconnected standalones of Secret Society for Regular Witches. This was one of my favorite cozy fantasies of all time. I'm not a huge cozy fantasy fan, but I did really, really enjoy this one. So even if you're not a huge fan of cozy fantasy, I think if you like found family, you'll really like this one. I cannot recommend it more. And I'm really excited about this next book from the author. It has been pushed back so many times at this point. It would not surprise me if it was pushed back again, even though the author said this is the final date. It has been pushed back a few years now, I believe. So I'm very excited to officially actually get it. The Jasad Heir, I loved this book. This is a really good romantasy novel. It is Arab inspired. The author is Arab too, I believe. And I think it's Egyptian inspired specifically. The second book in this series, this does end on a cliffhanger, and the second book in this series comes out on the 15th as well. I will be getting the Illumicrate edition so that it matches this edition, which I love and adore. It is like pretty true enemies to lovers, only because their families have done some pretty awful things to each other throughout the centuries, and these two are very much battling it out. The male main character, Aaron, is one of those like extremely strategic, omniscient characters that I love. So this has that trope, and that just always does it for me. So I cannot wait for this next book because I need to know what Aaron has planned. As I'm sure you've seen on just about everyone's list, Catabasis comes out August 1st. This is another book by R.F. Kuang. My favorite by her is Babel. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I did enjoy this book. It is brutal. It is extremely hard to read. The Poppy War trilogy is incredible in the way that it was done. It was amazing. I hated it. I was just sobbing mess afterwards, and I think it's the fact that even within Babel, within the Poppy War trilogy, the way I still think about it and still think about the implications that she's drawn, especially from history and what it means for our present and for our future, and how history is doomed to repeat itself. I could cry right now thinking about the Poppy War actually, and thinking about how societies have shifted and yet they haven't. Her books make me think so much even after I finish reading them. I've read Yellowface. I found Yellowface extremely hard to read. I don't like horrors. I don't like... Her books are hard to read. I will warn you, I think Catabasis will be no different. She said it's a love story, but she did not say it's a romance. So I, like all of her books, do not anticipate a happy ending. Amber V. Nicole, I love this romantasy series with my whole heart and soul. Amber V. Nicole has written this series. It's called the Gods and Monsters series. There are 3 books out right now. The 3rd book, Dawn of the Cursed Queen, came out in 2024. I ate it up. It was... These books are like really good CW TV shows in that there's just so much that happens. There's just so much that goes down. These characters are back and forth, on and off, hot and cold, and there's so much lore that goes into this. There's side characters and their stories. It's all very complex. It's spicy though. It's a good time. Diana is angry all of the time, and I love that. The feminine rage in this is unparalleled. The Wrath of the Fallen is the next book, and it comes out on August 5th. It got pushed back, which was like a bummer. But whatever she needs to make it good, to make it right, it will be 7 books, so we're not even halfway there yet. But I love this series so much. If you've read Anna Maria and the Fox and then Isabel and the Rogue, I loved this one. This one was okay. This one was really, really good. These are 3 Mexican sisters that are in the UK. I believe it's around Victorian era London, and to the Mexican ambassador, and these are just such a fun series that is like historical romance, but it includes characters like Mexican sisters. I've never read that before in historical romance, and I'm eating it up. I'm loving it. I loved this one in particular though, but my favorite character is definitely Gabriella, whose story is the last story. She's just so funny and clever and witty and also just bold and brusque, and I love it. She's my favorite character, and her final book, Gabriella and His Grace, is coming out the 26th of August, and the cover is stunning, obviously, so very excited. This is one of the historical romance series that I'm following very closely. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for the series to finish up. Ivy Fairbanks, the author of Morbidly Yours, which is such a super cute rom-com set in Ireland. She's a widow. He's an undertaker, and they're neighbors, and it's the cutest, such a cute, fun novel. I laughed out loud in this, and I thought it was also, I'm not Irish or anything, but I've been to Ireland. I've visited a few times, and I thought it was a pretty apt representation of Ireland, or at least the culture that, like, how I perceived it. I would have to have an Irish person tell me though if this did a really good job or not. But she's coming out with Heartstrings on August 12th, and I loved this so much. I can't wait for Heartstrings. The cover is super cute as well, so I have a feeling it's gonna be good. author of the Divine Rivals duology that ended with Ruthless Vows. I actually liked this. I know a lot of people didn't, but I actually quite liked it. I thought it was a really good ending. I was very pleased with it. She is coming out with a third book in this world. It's not a continuation of these characters' stories. It's different characters, but it's from this world, and it's called Wild Reverence. And it comes out September 1st, and I'm very excited for it because I really enjoyed this world. For some reason, it reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle a little bit. If you know the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, you know that I'm collecting the Black Dagger Brotherhood series in hardback, which has been expensive and difficult because the first 7 books are challenging to find at a reasonable price point. I think it's like the 24th book now in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series is coming out on the September 9th. With this book, we've now introduced kind of a new era of the BDB, and it's definitely taking a turn in terms of it's now going towards the next generation of the BDB, which I love. I hope we still get to see the characters that I love and everything, but this is very much definitely like now becoming the next generation. I hope it kind of breathes new life into the series, and that comes out on September 9th. Alchemized. This is essentially Manacle by Sen Lin Yu reimagined so that it can be put out without any copyright infringement. I do have Manacled from when it was on AO3. I've read Manacled. I loved it, adored it. It broke me. Can't wait to see how she's reimagined it. It's supposedly a 900-page book, which I'm down for. Obviously, Manacled was, I think, 1,300 pages or something crazy like that. I can't wait for that. I know people are going to be going crazy for that because Manacled was so huge. My favorite books of last year was Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. I totally knew the next title was going to be Princess of Blood, called that months in advance. And this is a fae romantasy. It's very predictable. It's very formulaic. You're going to know exactly what's going to happen, but it was enjoyable almost because of that. So the Princess of Blood is coming out. I know the title's confirmed. The date isn't confirmed. Sarah Simone's Lionesse trilogy, more than a trilogy, it's like a book and a half. The last book I think is coming out in September, and it's called Bitter Burn. This is a Tristan and Isolde retelling, MMF, very spicy Sarah Simone. And Mark is this omniscient character, kind of. I love and adore omniscient characters, as I've stated already, and I'm eating it up, but apparently we're getting Mark's perspective. This trilogy, which is set in the same universe as the New Camelot trilogy, we're actually getting Mark's perspective. I can't wait. Although I will say, that's the thing about omniscient characters, is that you're not in their head. So the fact that they're omniscient, it's because kind of you don't know what's in their head. So I'm curious to see how she's gonna do that. Illusions of Fire by Nisha Sharma. Nisha Sharma wrote one of my kind of favorite contemporary romance series. This is a Shakespeare retelling. This is The Taming of the Shrew. This is another one, this is another one, I don't remember which ones. But this is such a fun trilogy of interconnected standalones about Indian Americans, and I just loved everything about these books. Marriage and Musty was my favorite. And she is coming out with a fantasy book, her first fantasy book. I think she's done sci-fi before, but not like fantasy. It's called Illusions of Fire. The cover is stunning. Union Square & Co. I did get an arc of, an e-arc, but I'm so excited to pick this up. It's gonna be so good. I already know. Look at the cover. Look at the cover. Do you see that? Yeah. I do, just some hopefuls. I'm not sure if Karen Marie Moaning is gonna be able to get out the next book in the House at Watch Hill series. This is the librarian book edition. I'm not sure she's gonna be able to get out the next book. I hope so, but that would be great. All Hail Chaos, which is the second book in this series by Sarah Reese Brennan that started with Long Live Evil. The second book is supposed to come out in the fall of 2025. I don't know when. This is just extremely funny, sarcastic, kind of like a parody of fantasy, of romantasy in a way, and I just really enjoyed that because I'm a very sarcastic person, and this really resonated with my sense of humor. I absolutely love the Clickanian series. I don't own it yet because I'm saving up so I can buy the editions signed from Victoria Avalon. So I don't have those books, like physical books yet, but I love that series so, so much. And Bewitching Rago is coming out in the fall. I'm not sure when, but it looks really good. It's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait. This is just alien smut. Fun alien smut. Ice Planet Barbarians in a different font, if you will. I thoroughly enjoyed Immortal Dark last year. I just thought it was, it was really good. It was like true enemies to lovers, vampires, tropes that I love, and these are black vampires, so it was just really, really good. And I'm hoping the second book will come out this year, because this did come out last year, but I suppose we will see. It seems like the length between book releases is kind of becoming a little bit longer recently, probably because like sprayed edges and stuff, but hope is that the second book comes out in 2025. Looking forward to Quicksilver book 2. I think this is coming out sometime in fall 2025 as well. But from J.D. Evans, the author of Reign and Ruin, we are expecting a novella to come out called Bird and Blade, which I heard a brief snippet of. It's gonna be incredible. I don't think it's about any one specific couple in particular. I think it's just like a bunch of the characters and like something that happens that leads into the next book, which is called Mountain and Memory, and it's definitely gonna be about the Earth House Cara. So I'm really excited for that. And that's supposed to come out this year, but we will see. We'll see. And then I do think that's it. That is all I have on my list as of right now. There are some that I'm keeping an eye on, but I don't think they'll come out in 2025, probably 2026. So I'll just note that down for this video done next year. But please let me know what you're most excited about, what books you're really looking forward to this year. Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a great year for books. It really is.